Hello, everyone. First, we want to take just a moment to thank you for your patience as we fine tune the process for the parent pickup at the elementary school. I think everyone would agree that the process is much smoother now than it was in the first couple of days. The purpose of this video is to go over some of the processes and procedures that we've put in place because there won't be somebody out there directing traffic in the parking lot every day. So we want to make sure everyone is on the same page with how this is supposed to work. And if you are familiar with the process, but at some point will have a new person coming to pick up your child or somebody who isn't familiar with the process, please hold on to this video and send them the link to this video so that they can see the process and how it's going to play out. So for those who may be new to the process, we do enter the parking lot from Sunshine Drive right down here by Tiger Stadium. When we come into the parking lot, we will pull in. The first cars come to the yellow speed bump and line up two by two lines, just like this. We have room for about 4 or 5 cars. When we get back to the 4th or 5th car and you get back to about this area here, then cars will begin lining up right here along with these parking spaces, 3 cars deep. 1, 2, 3. 3 cars deep. As long as there are 2 parking spaces, we can go about 3 cars deep. When we get down to the 1 car areas, then we'll go 2 cars deep. Right like this. There's just barely going to be enough room between cars and that are parked down here and cars that are sitting in the queue line waiting. So please be cognizant of that and pull as far forward as you can to get as much room back here in the back as we possibly can. When we get to the last area here, we get 2 cars filled in right there. Then the next car will pull around and come to this black line right here on the parking lot. This is a good example of this car being parked in the proper space. You see this black line right there. The car is parked. Here's another look. The parking lot is filled with cars. This car is pulled around, parked right here, and the cars start to line up behind them. Back to our map now, and the cars have begun parking here, and the parking lot is full. Cars will then begin lining up behind the cars along the sidewalk, and it'll circle around behind the cars that are queued and behind cars that will be parked in these parking spaces. It's going to be a tight maneuver here. So if you are in the queue line, pull up as far as you can, please, to the car in front of you to give us room to maneuver back here. The line will then go all the way down to the street, and we'll stop there, and the line will then continue down North 3rd Street. So then again, we have our cars parked 3 deep along here and our 2 rows of cars. Once the cars then fill out, these cars will then begin to fold into the line. Ideally, the first row will go into the right-hand lane, the next row goes into the left-hand lane, then the next row will go into the right-hand lane, and then the left-hand lane. That will help keep traffic moving and flowing, and we can empty the lot out. Will be an occasion where there's not going to be room, but maybe the first 2 cars can go in the left-hand lane, and the 3rd car can pull into the right-hand lane because there's space there, and that will give us some room to maneuver and move people along. So once the parking lot then empties out, we will again begin to line cars up again in the queue. The idea is to get as many people into the parking lot and off of North 3rd Street as possible so that we can then get people off of the streets and out of the neighborhood and onto our campus. So how do we do this? Well, we're going to use this car as an example here. This truck is already faced and going toward the line that's going to wrap around. So this car right here is in the best position to pull up and begin our queue line again. All the cars behind that car will then follow them up, and we'll begin doing 3 cars deep again, and we will fill that queue line one more time. So once again, cars will continue to pull up and form 3 cars deep till we get down here, and we'll go 2 cars deep. Remember, the line is snaked around this way already as the cars are beginning to file in here. Try to keep the line as far up the hill as we can so we have room for cars to file into the queue line. And then when the last car gets around, this car then can begin pulling out, and we'll do the whole thing over again. Right, then left, then right, then left, ideally. and the line will continue. As these cars are pulling out, this line may continue to be forming as it goes down the hill. And then as it moves around, the next car in that same position that we showed in the previous slides will then begin filing up, and we'll do the whole process over again, and we'll file in and we will fill in our queue line. Typically, this takes about 3 or 4 times that we have to fill it up. But please remember that if you see cars pulling into the queue line, do not follow in and come in this way and try to butt in line. Also, if you see cars filling in and we're already 3 deep, pull around and come to the end and come in and fill in to the end here until we get all the way down to the end of these parking spaces that you can see on the asphalt. Again, just please remember to be cognizant and remember all the parents around you. They've also waited some time in line as well. So please just follow the directions that we've given here in these videos. Take a look at the line. If there's a line forming with the queue line, come to the end of the queue line and just continue to go. Please also, when the line gets to you here, you feel free to pull out and go ahead. You don't have to wait for direction. If there's somebody out there, you don't have to wait for direction. If there's nobody out there, we're going to trust that everybody can help and self-direct themselves. We have gotten the line down. We can do all of our students in about 30 minutes now. So we begin dismissal at about 3:15. We've been wrapping up at about 3:45. So some of you may be able to time your arrival that you might not have to sit in line for more than 10 or 15 minutes. And that will help all of us to prevent having a lot of people waiting and sitting on North 3rd Street. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Dr. Seifert at the elementary school. I will also be available to answer any of your questions. You can hit me up in my email. So thank you very much for listening.